Hi, folks. This is John Chambers, and this is my podcast, a Belfast Child Pod. I just wonder if anyone out there can help me sort out my really boring voice. Anyway, this is my third attempt at this, and the purpose is to tell stories and share stories and accounts of my life growing up in and around Loyalist Belfast during the worst years of the Troubles. It's both sad, funny, and mad in places. And believe it or not, we did have fun back then, and we still do. Belfast people know how to enjoy themselves, regardless of what's going on in and around them. This particular pod is an interview I done with UTV a few years ago, and it's just me talking about my life, my search for my mum, and eventually the reunion. Anyway, I'm boring myself stupid, so I'll pass you on and you can listen to the interview. Please like and subscribe if you can be arsed. Thank you. Bye.
John Chambers was born into a mixed marriage. His father was from the Shankill and his Catholic mother was from the Falls. But his parents split up and he grew up as a Protestant with his father's family in Glencairn, North Belfast, an area where Loyalist paramilitaries held considerable sway. Now, following the split, he lost contact with his mother. For 25 years, he searched for her, but his search was fruitless. John thought he had lost his mother for good, but fate intervened following a chance meeting one of his old school friends had on holiday in Florida. And to reveal more of the story, I'm delighted to welcome John to the studio. John, thank you so much indeed for joining us. It has been quite a journey for you from Belfast, but you had a happy childhood even though your parents had split up.
I did, Pamela, yeah. When my parents split up, we went to live in Glencairn, my dad's family, and my grandparents took the role of, acting as our guardians, and we were surrounded by friends, cousins, uncles, aunties, and it was a good life.
A typical extended Northern Ireland family.
Typically, yeah.
But your mum moved away?
My mum, yeah, when my dad and mum split up, I was too young to understand the complexities of what was going on in the marriage. But when they split up, it was quite a hostile breakup. And when mum left, she just left one day, and we never seen her again for the next 25 years. And I spent most of my life looking for her.
When you did decide to look for your mum, it was the tragic loss of your father that possibly prompted you to say, where's mum actually in this?
Yeah, that's right. It might sound bad, but when I was a child and I had my dad and my grandparents around me, I didn't really miss mum because I'd spent a lot of time in hospital. The first 5 years of my life, I in and out of hospital, so I wasn't used to having mum there. So when she left, I didn't really miss her that much. And then when my dad died, I was the age 9 when my dad died. That just destroyed the family completely.
It was a lovely picture of you and your dad.
He was the centre of our universe. And I was about 9, 10 at the time. And after Dad died, we went to live with the family. And as I grew older, I started thinking more and more about Mum. But because it's such a taboo subject with Mum, we couldn't really talk about it. So I didn't know anything about Mum. I didn't know her name, didn't know her Christian name or surname, nothing about her at all.
And of course, 1976, growing up in sort of the Loyalist area, you can hardly start asking about a Catholic family.
Exactly, yeah. Glencairn is, as you say, a Loyalist estate. And as a child, I grew up. My dad had a band, and we took great pride in that. And I was in the Orange Lodge and that. And Glencairn wasn't the sort of place that you sort of boasted that you had a Catholic mother. So we kind of had a secret that we had to keep, and we didn't want anyone to know.
So how did you then, sort of age 10, 11, 12, sort of think, right, how am I going to find my mum? Or was it just sort of like that little kernel of in the back of your head? Because as an adult, it can be an easier thing to do, or even though it was a tough task for you.
Yeah. As I got older, I started thinking more and more about her. I'm missing her more, go through teenage lives. And I used to walk to Belfast City Town. I'd see women my mum's age, and I'd think, is that my mum and that? And when I was about 15, 16, I started working in the Mater Hospital, and I met this lady called Muriel Wilson. She worked there, and I told her my story, and she wanted to help me, so she put me in touch with a Catholic priest, and he was a lovely man, and he wanted to try and help me find Mum, but because I didn't know anything about her name, her Christian name, he couldn't do anything for me. And I contacted the Salvation Army. All this was done in secret. They couldn't help me. I wrote to Adrian's son. She couldn't help me. They wanted more information, so I didn't have the information. There was nowhere I could get it.
But then out of the blue, this chance meeting, as so often happens, fate intervened, and it was an old school friend
Yeah.
who got in touch?
Yeah, that's right.
What happened?
Well, when I was about 18, I moved over to London. I'd had enough of Belfast, basically. And I was just plodding along with my life. And I did think about Mum. You know, she was always in the back of my mind. And I always wanted to meet her. But, you know, I was getting on with my own life. And I was a young adult in London. I was having parties every night, you know, as you do. And then my sister phoned me one day and she goes, "Are you sitting down?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "You're not going to believe this." And she told me the story. A friend of mine was on holiday in America and he got talking to a Belfast couple. And, you know, Belfast people are...
We talk.
Yeah, they do. Doesn't matter where you are, you'll find them. And they got talking, and the lady, Philomena, she was from the Falls Road. And when he said he was from Shankill Road, she asked him, did he know the Chambers family? And he said, yeah. And then she asked, did you know John and the rest of my brothers and sister? And he said, yeah, I went to school with John. And then she turned around and says, I think I'm John's auntie. I know, his madness.
Oh, and you got in touch, and then, of course, you got in touch with your mum. And,
I did.
And this is one of these really happy stories.
It is,
Your
yeah.
mum and you are now really, really close. And when was all that?
That was in 93. I was 27 when I reconnected with Mum. The letter finally got back to me in Belfast, and I phoned Philomena in America. We chatted for a long time, and she gave me Mum's number. And I kind of sat on it for a few days because it was such a momentous thing in my life. Yeah, my whole life I'd wondered who this woman was, what she looked like. I knew nothing about her. And I called her, and we were on the phone for hours, and we talked and we cried, and yeah, it was very, very emotional.
And you now live up near your mum?
I do, yeah. We moved up. We've got a very good relationship now, and we're building bridges, and
because as we were saying, we've so often heard the tragic stories of not being able to come across the family, searching for the family, and it's had a tragic ending. But this is so lovely to have a happy ending. It would be lovely to see it into a movie or a TV programme or something as well.
Yeah, I'd love that, to get it published and, as you say, into a TV movie. I mean, it's nice to have a happy ending for once. There's too much misery and sadness out there.
Absolutely. And your mum must just be thankful every day that your school friend met her sister.
It was one of those quirks of fate, but for once fate dealt me a good hand, and yeah, it all turned out really well.
Well, I'm absolutely delighted to have you here so that you can tell the story, and I know you're connecting with the family in Belfast as well while you're here as well.
I am, yes.
Have a fantastic time. John, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. Thank you for joining me. Can't wait to read the book as well.
Hi folks, thanks for listening, and thanks for sticking with me. And I'm sorry if I sent you to sleep with my really boring voice. I'm going to look on YouTube and find out some videos on how to make myself more exciting. I reckon 5 or 6 gin might help, but it's a Monday afternoon and I am drinking today. I've got a few others lined up. One, I talk about my love and pride and my loyalist culture and traditions and what all that means to me. I'll never apologize for that, and it pisses me off that, you know, sometimes I feel the world in general, I've got a cultural bias towards me and my culture and my people, and it's my mission to put them straight. Also, I've done one on a fight I got involved in Chinatown with a gang of Chinese triads. That was a scary experience, among many others. And the other one is I've recorded is a story about a day that I got arrested twice in one day. It started off a lovely day and it was a beautiful day. Everything was going so well, but drink and drugs come into play, and things went down rapidly. Nothing too serious, and no one was hurt apart from my good self. But thanks for listening, and please like, subscribe, and share. Take care. Thank you. Bye.